Hey, so here's another installment of our Good News in Tech. But today we are joined again, once again by our great CEO, Liliana. Liliana, welcome to the Good News in Tech. You've actually been requesting that we do a Good News in Tech here. Cybersecurity. This is the Good News in Tech cybersecurity special. So I'm excited to hear again about the cybersecurity news and all the good stuff that we have to share, including a job offer that we'll talk about shortly. So go ahead, Lydia.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for setting this up. Clearly, I need a little more tech training because I don't have my background. So you'll do some tech training with me at the end. But I wanted to talk about something really exciting that happened, as you know, and as was featured on our website. We launched a cybersecurity program, and through that effort, I was sending out invites to various Sabio alumni who are software engineers to come and join us in cybersecurity. And we got some indication from one of our alums that works at Microsoft that they have been given an imperative that security is of utmost importance, and everyone in the company needs to start taking very serious steps to protect the security of the Microsoft infrastructure and the security of their clients. So, do you want to share the?
Coming right away. There you go.
Yeah, so this is what Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, is sending out to its team members. And I think the key term there is security above all else. And we really are seeing that cybersecurity considerations are very important, and they are now front and center for every technical professional. And so that's really something that is a little bit newer, isn't it, Gregorio? How have you seen your role as a software engineer? Did you feel like they were just the security guys and it was their job? But because right now it's really a turning point.
Well, the thing is, one thing that I see very clearly today in the job market is that the best way that I can communicate is that today it feels like if you're going to be a software developer, you have to be a software developer slash security professional. So I'm not saying that everybody that writes code needs to um, go and get one of those like ethical hacker certifications and whatnot, but you can't just rely on your DevOps team. You can't just rely on your IT team, whatever it is you want to call them. You can't rely on them anymore. You really have to um, keep that front and center. Like if you were building a web based application, you have to keep front and center accessibility concerns. You have to. But in the past couple of years, especially if you scan the job postings today, like front and center is security, cybersecurity, security, cybersecurity, security. Like maybe plus it's not required, but hey, plus be great if you have these security certifications. And CompTIA's got the market on that. Like it's like some type of monopoly that they have. But if you're writing code and you're building, especially if you're building in something that we would say building for the web, where like, hey, you're gonna have a bunch of browsers and a bunch of different clients hitting your APIs, like security is right there now. And in a more meaningful way, like you said, in a much more meaningful way than 5 years ago, than 10 years ago, than when I started, that was a different role. That was a different role. Yeah, you needed to know about it in a certain level, um, but not like today. Today, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And so, like, that is something that, everyone, whether you are actively on the job hunt, we want to invite you to come to our free workshops, just like we do coding at noon, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. We have added a 1 p.m. live session on Monday and Tuesdays that is specifically geared, and there's two different ones. So find the one that works for you, that is specifically designed for people that, are thinking about cybersecurity. And it's also designed for people who are already software engineers, or maybe you're a data analyst, maybe even if you're a database administrator, or even if you're doing UX, UI, and PM. If technical product manager, if you are looking to do things to set yourself up for success, you have to add the cybersecurity component to your resume. And so here it is, right? Like a year from now, 6 months from now, if there are layoffs at your company, if things get reorganized, the fact that you are certified in cybersecurity is going to make a drastic impact in your professional development. Okay, so take that into consideration. Definitely want to take action in that regard. Hit us up if you have questions, if you want clarity, make comments down below. We're monitoring the channel. We'll definitely engage with you.
Let
Um,
me say that a different way. Um, when you said for your professional development, it I'll say it a little bit different way. Professional survival, right? I happen to believe I don't subscribe to job security by someone hogging work. In fact, I believe in the opposite. I believe in job security by making others around you better, and helping them with their work. And in this regard, how those things that aligns with my belief is that you being good at cybersecurity means that you're pulling your weight in terms of cybersecurity, and that you're protecting the company, and you're protecting the effort, and protecting the company and those efforts to make sure that we don't have something horrible happen to our data or to our system is a benefit for everyone, right? Benefit for everyone sitting next to you. And you're right. Like right now, in the time when people are thinking, hey, maybe I got to lay off some folks, the people who are, at least for me, it's not that, hey, you're the only one that knows cybersecurity. For me, I look at it as like, you're the team member who can add value to us and keep us safe when other people might not be ready. Because the other thing to look at it is what's keeping you from learning cybersecurity, what's keeping you from doing this. There's nothing keeping you from doing this. Absolutely nothing. So when someone's going to go take stock of what's up with the team, uh, this guy can throw, run, kick, and do everything. He'll even go swim in a football field somehow. But then there's some other folks that just like to warm the bench and ride the bus. That's not cool, right? I can
yeah,
strike out on the bus. So um, making yourself valuable is good for you, right? It's good for you, and so don't lose sight of that.
exactly. And so that's a really good point to take us into the next topic that I wanted to discuss. As you know, you and I love to consume media. We live. We haven't been fully addicted to TikTok yet, but we have been on Twitter for a long time. We read a lot. We watch, CNBC to see what's going on, right? Like a lot of macroeconomic trends. And so I found this tweet from Jason, who is, an exceptional venture capitalist. He has his ear to the ground, amazing. He himself puts on a number of conferences. He does workshop Wednesdays. And he talked about this paradigm that's occurring where, people are saying, hey, I'm having a hard time applying to jobs. I'm hearing this a lot from like people in marketing. A lot of people in marketing are really struggling to get interviews, even an interview. But then he's saying that fellow entrepreneurs that he knows, people that actually need to hire, cannot find talent. And so there's this weird mismatch happening. And I believe that we're really in this time in the economy where we're experiencing a very significant inflection point. And it's not 1,000% clear, right? Like when COVID hit and everything shut down, it was like that was like lights blaring, shit is falling apart, right? When we had the economic crisis and foreclosures, like that was like clear as day. I think that we're right butted up to an event that's going to be very difficult economically. Um, and people really, really, really need to step up their game, which is the theme of this conversation, right? We just talked about cybersecurity, but let's talk about some of these other tips that he gave people that want to look for work.
So the thing that's the first one that just kind of slaps me in the face is this one about following up, right? It's
Yes.
number 4 on his list. Um, but for me, like I can't believe it, but it's the lost art of the follow up, and you don't have to follow up 10 times. It doesn't need to be like some type of you know essay, but just like hey Bobby, thank you for the time that you spent with me today. I enjoyed learning more about you and the opportunity, and I'm going to be sure to get back to you. Or here's, let me get back. I told you I was going to get back to you with the answer to the stuff that I couldn't answer. And again, thanks, and I look forward to hearing from you again soon. Something. People don't do that, right? People just have forgotten to do that, and I think it's such a small but yet professional and impactful thing that if you're, especially as a software engineer, you're expecting someone to pay you a boatload of money, and you can't send a follow up thank you. It doesn't make sense. Even if you don't have access uh, to the hiring manager directly, somebody put you in contact with this person. Send it to the recruiter because it'll make an impact on them, and they are the person that you're going to be interviewing through, right? So I think that's super important. Did you want to highlight anyone else? Because I got another one in here.
Yeah, so I think so his first point is enough with the AI stuff. And so I think that he's 100% correct. You want to use the tools that are available to you, like ChatGPT and all the other tools, to draft, to either finalize something that you created or to help you create a draft so that you can finalize it, right? And I think every person is a little bit different. There's certain topics where I actually just wrote in Medium, I'm going to write my story of an entrepreneur. And so I wrote like how entrepreneurship impacted me in the first 10 years of my life. There's probably going to be 4 or 5 chapters because now I'm 47. And for my style, it was really helpful for me to put everything down on the page, and then I asked ChatGPT to refine it and to perfect it. And then I went back, I reviewed it one final time, and I published it. And actually, you actually found an error as well as a human error. So I like that because I feel that if I can sit down and I can just write and not be worried about having it be perfect, I can really move forward. There are other people who sometimes can ask ChatGPT for like an outline. Give me 5 things that I should cover, and then they can go and fill in the blanks, right? So GitHub has a co-pilot, and you talk a lot about this, and people really need to understand that these tools are co-pilots for you, that you can't take the reins, can't take your foot off the pedal. Like this is not FSD, full self driving mode. Like we're not there yet, but it is a powerful tool. So you have to learn how to use it best. What are your tips for the AI applications?
For the AI, well, it's like you said, like, there's one thing. Um, uh, if you're going to write something, it should sound like you, because, you know, when you submit something that doesn't sound like you, if for some reason it doesn't come across immediately in the writing, they're gonna understand once you actually start like talking with them, even face to face, right? And so even with the job posting, not the job posting, the when we post this video, um I look, either 9 times out of 10 the content that I post with this video to announce this video is going to be AI generated, absolutely. And if you read it, it's going to sound like AI generated, but I'm not expecting a human being to read it. I'm trying to put some keywords out there and to have have the little algorithm, as they say, pick it up a little bit and boost it just to get a little bit more reach, right? And in place of maybe you can't hit play, you're going to read the highlights there, right? If you can't hit play and listen to the video, you're going to read the highlights there. Absolutely. But then what's my goal? My goal is to not get a job with that. My goal is to just disseminate some information and the person reading it. So you got to know the audience, right? Like they say, know the room, read the room. What's going on? Like the people that I'm sharing this video with, they're not going to bat an eye on the fact that this is going to be AI generated. It's not like they've subscribed to Gregorion's Liliana's writing work. It's like it's a different goal, right? So like you said, you got to take control. You got to let the co-pilots, you got to let AI serve you, not do the work for you, right? Like, what is the job I need to do? I need to get this content out. So it's going to help me get this content out. It's not going to do the content for myself, right? So I'm actually talking right now. There isn't a little bot, right?
Script.
We have tools today where you could be an avatar and I could be an avatar and we could be say, hey, go generate a video about two people talking about cybersecurity and Microsoft and stuff. Like we could have done that, but we didn't do it. We're sitting here taking the time to talk about it because that's what's important.
I agree. Yeah. So lots of resources out there, which is positive. I always like to look at the glass half full. Lots of indications, lots of things that can help you. Did you have a third point you wanted to go through in this list?
You
But
know,
I encourage
the other
people to
thing
find
in here,
Jason.
excuse me?
I encourage people to read this in detail. But
Oh
yeah,
no,
what other third
absolutely.
point did you have?
Go find Jason. His handle is Jason LK. Is that LK? Let's just Google it. For some
Yeah.
reason, I the Sasser. The guy's has tremendous content. The other thing in here that is obviously very close, his home is, and if you read through this stuff, like what we were just talking about, if you're out in a job hunt, you have to prioritize the job hunt, right? And so I was reading this thing here, and it makes sense. Like if you want to go get a job, you can't like pretend like it's not important. Like don't tell people you have one or two slots free, dude. You want to talk to me about a job? You tell me when you want to talk to me about a job, and I'm going to make that happen. What am I supposed to reschedule my lunch date with my buddies? Right? Like I have to go to the gym and like do I have to do my CrossFit stuff? Like all that stuff, it's important to look. It's important to take care of yourself. So people out there, yes, take care of yourself. Absolutely. Really important way to take care of yourself is put money in the bank. Right? Your mental health well-being is going to improve dramatically once you are employed. Right? Once you are employed or once you have an opportunity to leave what might be a toxic workplace and go to a nice place, like prioritize these things. Right? So this kind of what he's pointing out there is super important. And then the strategist one as well. I forgot. I don't know where he read that, but like, look, we want people that's going to go come in here and do the work. You need to come in here and do the work.
Don't argue. I love that one.
Which if you know, you know. It doesn't make sense if you're not if you're not in the business of helping people get work, and people do that, right? They're like, oh, but dude, I mean, a combination of some of these things. It's just like, how are you expecting to get a job? Period. In this job market, right? Where in some other videos I refer to this as the winter, right? This is like the Game of Thrones winter. How are you thinking you're operating and surviving when you're not acting appropriately? And this is the fantastic thing about this post that once you share this with me, it made total sense. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, awesome. Wonderful. Well, we have a couple of really exciting opportunities to talk about and some good news from our alumni. So you can start with the first one and I can do the one from
The
low
job
cost
offer.
of area
You want me to
you
talk
like
about the
talking
job
about.
offer? Yeah.
Yes, and
So
I'm going to
look,
talk about one too.
all right. So I'm going to talk about the alumni, right? An alumni that just got a job. Actually, didn't just get the job offer last week. I think he just announced it and shared it with us. And so a slightly little different. This is fantastic news And at first, it's not going to sound fantastic, but stay with me. I'm going to tell you why it's so fantastic because I'm going to point something out that's actually a little bit related to what we were just talking about. He's actually been working with this lead for a month. So he first contacted them a month ago, and it's taken a month to go through the interview process. And, that's not the fastest in the world, but it's certainly not the slowest. So a month after making contact with them, he got the job offer. Really good job. He does have a degree, and he's actually, it feels like he's putting that degree to work in this particular role because the industry that he was in before, right? Everybody needs software developers, people. If you're a lawyer, if you're a plumber, like if you are in nonprofit management, if you're in construction, like you need software around you. And so it's nice that if I'm in construction and you have a background in construction, like you understand a lot about my business. Like let's bring you in, let's help you out, help me out with all the tech. So he pulled that maneuver. Fantastic. Here's the thing that doesn't sound awesome, but it makes my head tingle. This guy took him 9 months, 9 to 10 months to get a job, which is very different than the other new good news in tech stuff that I've put up recently, where people are coming right out of the boot camp getting jobs. This guy took him like 10 months, let's say. And why is that so important? Because it's 10 months to not giving up. 10 months. This guy woke up, and he didn't give up, and he did the right things, which was as he sent a message, he couldn't do it with the support that we provided him, right? That we and the alumni we have set up to provide support for you. It's a formula that you have to execute on. And some people, to be honest, a lot of people, they tap out. We don't tell people it's going to be easy, but what we tell them is that we're going to be here for them and we're going to provide them with the support. They just need to stick with it. And they need to maybe plan, and I need to have my part time to take care of some bills. I need to do this stuff. I need to take care of my mental health. And then we provide the support and the tools to make this happen. And that's what we did here. 10 months, this guy did not give up. Right. And so instead of listening to the naysayers, my good friends, doom and gloomers, 10 months, he ignored those people. He kept his eye on the ball and made it happen. Right. After 10 months, which only like 10 months and then combine the 4 months of the training, 14 months completely transforms his career. Where else are you going to do that? Where else are you going to do that? Like, that's crazy. In the winter that we're living through, right? In the good times, 10 months would sound like great, right? 14 months sounds like still talk to anybody else in any industry. I switched my entire career. Whew, completely different. I have no business doing this in 14 months. In regular good times, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's just unbelievable. In the winter, it's nothing but commendable, astonishing. Um, I have nothing but I can't. It makes my head tingle. Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Wow.
it's a wonderful story. And so the alum that I gave a shout out to earlier in the week, who scored their tech wings, they
There
sorry,
you go. That was the wings.
they're the
That was
wings.
Clarence.
They employed a strategy as well where they graduated from the program, they went and they got a job, and they continued to job hunt and they continued to network with friends and family members. And their family members were able to say, hey, you need a technical person on site in this location to install software, to work with clients. I have the perfect person for you. And so it is very, very important when you're on the job hunt that people who know you, who know your character, who know your work ethic, know that you are now a software engineer, that you are technical, and that you have these capabilities to bring to the table. So that when I mean, it's like the craziest, most random of companies in the middle of the desert that need someone who is technical. And that's the other thing that is always just so crazy, that we see that alumni get jobs in the most insane places, doing really cool tech jobs. And so there's lots of opportunity. You have to set yourself up for success. That's how we start at the top of this, and you will reap the benefits for sure. Also, last thing, we will close out with, right now IBM has a tech entrepreneurship, I'm sorry, apprenticeship open. It pays close to six figures. You do have to go to Austin, but they do not care if you have a degree. Look at the languages. If you know C sharp, any Sabio fellows listening to us, that you totally qualify. Okay, so I hope a lot of people apply, and that we get good news that someone goes in and joins IBM through this apprenticeship opportunity.
I pulled it up here, the IBM apprenticeship. Very quickly, just Google it up because I didn't have it ready, but here it is. This information, real quick. I just Googled IBM apprenticeship, and you jump in here. Um, so you can do that too.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. You can also reach out to us if you need anything, if you have questions about anything, if you need any links. We're here to help always. Active on X, Instagram, LinkedIn. Hit us up. We'd love to help you with your tech journey.
All right. So thank you, Liliana, for joining us here today, and everyone else, aspiring developers, code small, dream big.
Have a great day.